I needed a break because I was working like a maniac that year. And I remember like my lecturer called me into a meeting and she was like, "Rah, like something's gonna have to give. You're either gonna have to cut back on your hours or you're gonna have to drop out of uni again." So I had to scale back on my hours, and I was vexed because at the time, like I said, I was doing 45 to 50 hours a week, bro. And imagine you're in uni, you're doing 45 to 50 hours a week. It's a lot. But at the time, the lowest I was charging was £40 an hour. So you do the math, that's about 8-9 grand a month.
Yeah, wow.
But it affected uni, it affected my training, I can't even lie. Because like I used to try and fit training with clients. So whoever's my strongest client of the day, I'll try and train with that client just to get in. You know what I mean? But it was a struggle because everything was just going downhill. And what kind of made me scale back was one day I'd finished training clients the whole day. I'd gone West London to my girl's house. Then I had to be back in the gym in the morning to train someone. I was driving down Clapham Junction past the station. I forgot the name of the road. Going to go park my car in Asda.
Yeah.
Bro, I fell asleep for a split second. And my smart car went and I nearly went into a bus.
Wow.
Then that made me realize money isn't everything, bro.
Yeah.
Money isn't everything, because that would have been it for me. So after that, I kind of just eased up on how hard I was grafting. Like even now, yeah, when people say, "Oh yeah, you graft hard," not as hard as then.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Like in my schedule of I'm busy, I make time for naps.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think you can make a living off of PTing? Because you said what, 9k in 1 month?
There's some PTs that do way more than that, but it's all depending on if you don't want your social life and location. So Clapham Junction was brilliant because people in that area tend to have money, because you got the people from Junction, you got some people who they just used to use that as their stopover on their way to work. So you got the station there, the footfall was brilliant.
Yep.
That's the reason why you got 2 Fitness First in Clapham Junction. So like even though you was competing against between 2 gyms, probably about 30 trainers, you were still getting fed because the footfall was ridiculous, you know what I mean? Location, everyone like between Junction, Battersea, just got over the water, you got the Fulham lot. Everyone kind of...
It's a central point.
Exactly. So it was a good spot. So with the fitness game, it's all about location. If you're willing to stay in the places where footfall is nice and you're willing to graft out, you do well, you know? Like where we live, it's a bit harder. It's a bit harder.
There's not many central locations, to be fair.
Nah.
Not
And the
at all.
thing is, like, also where we live, you got a higher turnover client rate. Whereas when I was in Junction, I had people who some people couldn't function without me. Where you would have got them to a standard that they don't need you, and you'd be telling them, "Bro, listen, like, train by yourself. Like, just get one of your friends who want to train for me, and they'll replace the person." But instead of them going and doing their own thing, they're like, no, I still need you twice a week. I can't push myself as hard as I want. I hear it, but it's like, you know everything you need to know now. Like, you need to become more independent. But there's some people who just ain't got that
drive.
Yeah, and they got the money, so for them it's nothing.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people struggle with. Is they need someone there to push them going to the gym. Me, am I like that? No, I just adapted to it now.
Yeah,
Just have to work hard.
yeah,
I mean, it only really helps for me when I'm doing, like, when I want to go to failure on like a bench or whatever. But no, I just ask someone in the gym to help me.
And that's the thing, like, most of the people I used to train, I used to say to them that if you got like a training partner who's on similar goals to you, you should be able to
push each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say determines like a successful fitness journey for someone?
It's commitment and discipline, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main thing is, even on your bad days to be disciplined enough to just turn up. Even on the days where you're not in the mood, you know what I mean? I'll say to people, like, a lot of people think, oh yeah, being in shape all year round is, you must be super motivated. Bro, everyone has bad days.
Yeah, everyone has bad days.
Everyone has bad days. You like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I go through weeks where I'm like, oh, forget all of this. But I still go, you know? Because like I said, I've programmed myself in a way that even if I'm not in the mood to train, as long as I do my 30-minute walk, that's enough for me.
That's enough.
Like, I've done something. Because in my head, I see it like this. It goes back to the math of work and chasing the grind and money like everyone else. Everyone online is too money, 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 money. I'm like this. If I could give my health 10 hours a week, that's enough. Because if you're chasing money for like 50, 60 hours a week, you get what I'm saying? And you're neglecting your health, it just don't make no sense, because you're going to make all this money, then you're going to end up in a hospital and not able to spend it.
Health as well.
You know what I mean? This generation is just too focused on money, 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 money. Yeah, we all like money, we all like nice things. But, like, touch wood. This is wood, right, or Dave?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's no plastic. Yeah, touch wood. Like, I spent a night in the hospital since I was born, so let me try and keep that trend going, innit?
But what do you think? Do you think that's society? In the sense that people are just driven by money nowadays? Do you think it's the big influencers of the world that
I think it's heightened by social media. Yeah, it's super heightened by social media, because now I say that the younger generation are under a different kind of pressure, where if you're seen to not have a certain lifestyle, certain status, you're looked as you're failing in life. Oh yeah, because you don't live by yourself and blah blah blah. Mate, rent is expensive. You know what I mean? So you want someone who's like 24, 25 to live in a 1-bedroom in London, where not where we live.
Exactly, it's too expensive.
Which is still expensive, but live in main London where you might be paying 1.5 for a 1-bedroom. You know what I mean? If you're lucky.
Yeah.
1.5 for one bedroom, and that's not including bills. Then you want the person to be driving like a C-class Mercedes coupe, where now after COVID the prices of cars are all hiked up. So you don't want the person to be driving an old car either. So now you're paying, let's say, like 4 bills a month for your car, and that's not including insurance. Then you pay insurance, then you pay petrol, then you pay rent. So this person on bills alone might be seeing like $2,500 a month.
It's a lot of
money.
It's a lot of outgoings.
It's a lot of outgoings. This ain't life. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you don't want to be doing lifestyle and holidays and dates and all of this. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. Like, I'm glad I don't put that pressure on myself. Yeah. I just deal with what I can and keep it moving. And it's not saying that I can't afford it. I can, because I put myself in a position too. But the position I put myself into at the moment is to be able to, from the business I've got now, to get more of those, to put myself in a position where the next 20 years, me going to work is because I want to. Yeah. Not because I have to. There's a difference, you get what I'm saying? I don't want to be in that situation where I feel like I'm constantly chasing, because I've seen it from family members who've passed, where they've worked themselves to death. You get what I'm saying? Like my uncle who raised me, I remember, like, he had a stroke, came out of hospital and went right back to work. And that alone just showed me I don't want to be like that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Stuck in a rat race. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were my age or your younger self, would you go back into PTing, or would you do something differently, knowing what you know now? Did you enjoy doing PT? PT
was fun. Yeah, PT was fun. But I'll probably do it slightly different.
Still do PTing, but differently?
If I did, I would have done it earlier. It's slightly different. Probably won't have stayed in it as long. I would have picked up a trade. from school. Yeah.
That's a big one. I say that to my friends. If everything goes tits up,
I would have picked up a trade.
I'm gonna learn a trade and just open my own construction company or something along them lines.
I would have started that from school days. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that are in that know how to do a trade. It's the best way to start a business.
Yeah. I'd have probably even stayed, like, I reckon I'd have probably done something like, all right, let me do electrician, then plumbing, then carpentry, back to back to back. So that way you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the best way, because then from then you can create a company and just hire other people.
And when you've hired people, you'd actually know what you're talking about firsthand. You know what I mean? Because you're covering everything.
Yeah, and then you know if they're doing something wrong. Because I've thought about it, I was like, should I create a construction company? But then if I hire a plumber or electrician, I've got to trust their word.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that you say that. I want to talk about networking, because last pod I listened to of yours.
Yeah.
Wes was asking, if you were to go back, would you pick people or money? And you said you would prioritize networking.
Yeah.
Why would that be the case?
See, the thing with a network, right, goes back to this money thing where I said to Wes recently, I said, especially with the YouTube stuff, if in the psychology of people is weird, the better you do with yourself, the more people naturally gravitate towards you.